Check out Bitcoin on an absolute tear, crossing the $18,000 mark overnight for the first time since December 2017. The chartmaster called the huge breakout all the way back in June, but now he is saying it could be time to cut back on the crypto. Cornerstone Macro's Carter Worth joins us with the charts. Hey, Carter, take it away.
Well, I think that's the right word, a tear. And so the question is, do you reduce or trim into this move? And I think the answer is yes. Let's look at a few charts. The first of three. This is Bitcoin as of July. And what we have here, of course, is the crypto's right up against the downtrend line, in effect, since the all-time high in December of 2018. Now, if you look at the next chart, we have this very clear breakout. And that's sort of the move that is interesting. It's a double, essentially. We were stuck at 9,000. Here we are at 18,000. But you can also see the level we're approaching, which is the former high. Third chart, final chart, and let's talk about it a little bit. In principle, a stock, a currency, commodity, anything that gets back to a former high will often contend with it before exceeding it. And while we're not quite at that high was 19,500, and today's high was 18,500, we're within 5–6%. So the thinking is here to start to reduce, and even as we were to get as high as the former high, to start to reduce even more. It's very unusual to break out before backing and filling or backing away from a prior well-defined spike high, such as we saw in December of 2017, exactly 3 years ago.
Wow. Carter, thank you. Carter Worth of Cornerstone Macro. Karen, what do you make of that chart?
Well, hard to bet against Carter, right? However, I'm in this sort of for the long term. Early on, I got my money back, and so I sort of feel like I'm playing with the house's money, and the theory has yet to play out if we do see inflation. I'm a longer-term holder of Bitcoin, so I'm hanging on.
Hey guys, you heard what CNBC said. Maybe time to take profits. Bitcoin is almost at 20,000, the highest it's ever been. Usually, institutional investors take their money now before they hit the resistance line. Think about it. But if you like content like this, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get right on to the show. Did you guys mix out on one of the biggest payouts ever? Hex had the big payday. It was just credited 5 minutes ago. If you're not into Hex, the link is at the bottom of the description. Basically, you put your crypto in and you stake and you make money while you sleep. That is all you do. And they just paid out $1.2 billion worth of Hex, because this Hex came out from the people with their Bitcoin who didn't claim their Hex for free. Come over here to hex.com to learn the basics, because Hex is making millionaires every single day. Also, guys, did you come over here to Ripple and get your Spark token? It was an airdrop. They gave out 1 billion Spark. All you had to do was go over and register and say you had your XRP, and you get free coins. Hopefully you guys didn't miss this, and get your crypto game up if you did miss this opportunity. So we're over here at CoinMarketCap. Let me reduce my size. Oh, pink up. Bitcoin right now is at 17,700. It was at 18,500. You see Ethereum is falling. If Bitcoin fall, guys, all the altcoins will fall harder in percentage. So just be aware of that. And let's see who were the top gainers for the 24 hours for today. OXT up 15.88 cents. Oh my God, look at that jump. That's crazy. Bitcoin Go. Who's buying Bitcoin Go? Who is buying Bitcoin Go and Bitcoin Diamond? Who is buying these? These might be pump and dumps, guys. So just be very aware of it. So I guess the GPU guys from Bitcoin Go are making a killing right now off of the Echo Hash. Yarn Finance is back at 24,000. Lord Jesus, it was just at 13,000, 14,000. Whoever bought in on that made a great profit. You know, we got Heads Trade, we got Ethereum Classic, Waves, Swiss Boar. I had never heard of Status, Digibyte. You know, these gains, guys, are going to drop so hard. Remember, we just saw the video about the technicals. So let's come over here and look at the charts, guys. You see Bitcoin topped it out around this 18,500 and it just started to push down. You can see people bought in so quickly after this, but they may just bought the bag. You might just be holding the bag, guys. You don't want to be holding the bag. Please don't hold the bag. And if we come over here and see if Bitcoin is down close to 1%, you see Ethereum is falling, and you see Link is falling, ADA is falling, XRP is falling, Unicorn is falling. They are all falling, guys. So just be very aware. One technical thing I do want to talk to you guys about. Look at this 50 moving average moving up right now. And you can see how the crypto market is just buying the dips off of it. This may be an opportunity for you to hold for this, and we will be hitting the support line as this falls down to hit the 50. Now, if we drop past the 200, bets are all off. This thing is going down. So just to be aware of that if you guys are traders. We are in extreme greed right now. This is the fear and greed index sentiment of Bitcoin. So just be aware, you don't want to buy in extreme greed. You want to buy when this thing is in fear, okay? Buy when it's in fear, guys. Now, if you guys are traders, you want to take advantage of the opportunity of shorting Bitcoin, come over here to Bybit. I have a referral link at the bottom. You will get a great benefit from using my referral, so check it out. And also they have 30% off on the fees, so you can make more Bitcoin with less fees. Great opportunity, only if you guys are traders, okay? Now let's come over here and talk about Ethereum. I didn't see too many people post this about, there was an update for an unannounced hard fork on Ethereum a couple of days ago. And Ethereum is supposed to be coming out with a 2.0 for everybody, all these smart contracts, and we're having this episode right now. This is quite scary. Ethereum fixed the problem, but how do we have a chain split out of nowhere, which is kind of funny. So hopefully Ethereum has this under control, because all the major financial instruments are on the Ethereum network. All these huge smart contracts are on Ethereum network. If they cannot get this together, guys, people will move to another blockchain very, very quickly. But Ethereum has tons and tons of developers. I believe in them. And I believe it's going to be a great project. But just keep your fingers crossed. And if this becomes a shit show, guys, remember, you can come over here to Bybit and short the shit out of it. Zcash, you guys know I'm a Zcash miner, Equihash miner. Canopy upgrade is coming. So this is going to be the first hard fork for Zcash. Let's just read this real quick. While 80% of miners' rewards will still go to the miners, 8% will now be reserved for the major grant fund. This will be exclusively reserved for independent third-party developers. So they're paying for developers to upgrade and keep this thing moving, which is pretty nice, because most of that fund was going to the people who ECC and the Zcash Foundation. It says the remaining 12% will be split between the Electric Coin Company, which will receive 7%, and the Zcash Foundation which will collect the remaining 5%. So they moved 8% over to some developers, and that is a good idea. I guess they don't want to develop on their own or pay out of pocket. So this is what happened. There's not going to be as much Zcash coming out either. I don't know the specific numbers on that. I'll find out later and I'll post it on Twitter. But Zcash, with less coins on the market, the price is just going to skyrocket, and it has privacy on it. So we'll see what happens with the governments, if they still like Zcash. But I'm still a holder of Zcash. I still love the project. The Electric Coin Company, They're working on tons and tons of projects away from the cryptocurrency market, dealing with encryptions, and it's just crazy. So just check out the electric coin company when you guys can. Now, Bitcoin Cash had a fork. I'm really not into Bitcoin Cash, so I really didn't pay too much attention to it. But let's just read this real quick. The new release breathes much needed life into the Bitcoin ABC fraction of Bitcoin Cash, which was crushed by rival Bitcoin Cash nodes in a brief live hash war following the fork on November 15th. This led to rumor about this impending demise. So I guess there was a hash war going on. Usually when you have a hard fork, people put their nodes on a network that they believe in to help it run and to make transactions. And I guess the Bitcoin Cash nodes just said, everybody went over to that side and said, forget that other chain and let it breathe, or let it do what it do, or let it die out. But it seemed like they survived. Bitcoin Cash BCHA survived. They're at like $11, $12 right now, and they ranged up between $19 and $20. I really don't care, okay? I really don't care. So you can read this if you want. Bitcoin Cash is Bitcoin Cash. A fork after that just mean everybody who had Bitcoin Cash had that coin, and now they can just sell it off for Bitcoin.
Why do you think there's been such this, I don't want to say resurgence, but surge in interest this year? Is it just money printing and deflation and global currencies?
Yeah, Brian, well, Bitcoin never sleeps, so that's the easy soundbite. And it is like a global phenomenon. Yeah, it does like a good movie, right? It's a global phenomenon. Look, we have the perfect storm for why Bitcoin is doing so well and why it will continue to do so well. Look, we have aging demographics in the Western world. We have massive debt, massive personal debt, massive corporate debt, massive government debt, and it's getting worse with all the impact of COVID and some of the things you were just talking about on the show before. And then the response from central banks is to print money. And when you print more of something, what happens to its value? It goes down. So Bitcoin is one of the only sound monies on the planet. You have silver, and now you have digital gold, Bitcoin. And so when a scarce asset is compared to a not scarce asset, we have what we call the fiat fiasco. And it's been going on really since the 70s. And if you look at the value of money, it's continued to be destroyed by the creation of it. And Bitcoin does the opposite, right? We know how much Bitcoin is going to be created every day for the next 140 years. And it's controlled by math, not by individuals.
I'll push back a bit, Mark, because my colleagues, with all due respect to them, they call it a cryptocurrency. I try to avoid that term. I don't think currencies should move like this. Maybe it's a commodity. Is it money? Because you can knock the dollar, you can knock the euro, you can knock, the yuan, but they don't move 5,000% in 5 years. Maybe if you're in the Weimar Republic in the 30s, or Zimbabwe or Argentina, whatever it might be. Is it a currency? Or is it an asset class?
Look, it's a fantastic point, Brian. And think about what it is, right? It's programmable money. And when money is young, money is very volatile. Think about when the dollar was first used. It had wild swings because really people didn't know what it was. The dollar's only been around since the 1700s. It's really a very young currency. And currencies over time have been spectacularly volatile, as you said. Think about things like Zimbabwe or Venezuela, just the last 2 years, the Bolivar. So what happens with money is it becomes accepted based on custom. But you're absolutely right. Where we started with Bitcoin is as a commodity, just like gold. Gold has commodity characteristics, but it has monetary characteristics. People think of it as the commodity that comes out of the ground, but gold for 5,000 years has been a perfect store of value, right? 1 ounce has bought a fine man's suit, like the one you're wearing today, for 5,000 years, from Egyptian times to the Revolutionary War to today, Savile Row, $1,500 for a nice man's suit. So Bitcoin is just the digital form of that. And so in these early days, when people think of it as a commodity and people think of it as a scarce asset, it's going to have more volatility. But over time, we'll see that it becomes digital money.
And part of Bitcoin is that, listen, a lot of people know it, a lot of people don't, so I'm just going to kind of speak level, is that there's about 21 million that will ultimately exist.
Right.
I think about 18 and a half or just under 19 million have currently been mined or found, or whatever parlance you want to use. Right. What happens when all 21 million are mined? Does it become like the art market in a way, in some respects, Mark? If there's no more that you can do and mine, does it then become like a Porsche or a Bordeaux? You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah. Oh, look, you bring up a really important point. The best performing asset over the last decade is not stocks. It's actually not even Bitcoin, which Bitcoin outperformed stocks dramatically over 10 years. It's actually collectible Porsches, right? Because there's only 3 guys in the world that buy them: Jerry Seinfeld, Jay Leno, and this guy, John Shirley, but ex-Microsoft. And so when there's limited supply, right, you can't make more vintage Porsches, and rising demand, prices rise. So the price will continue to rise for Bitcoin forever. Now, what will happen over time is we'll split into units of measure called Satoshis, 8 decimal places. We have 100 billion Satoshis. And so if you think about any scarce asset, this has to do with what's called the stock to flow ratio, the new flow of an asset relative to its stock. Look at the dollar, the US dollar. We have massive new flow compared to the stock. So it's depreciating, it's devaluing, and it's only going to get worse. If you look at gold or silver, not a lot of new flow to stock. Bitcoin actually is the scarcest asset in the world based on that stock to flow measure.
So you heard the news from the media. You understand where I've been preaching for the last, 3 years, 4 years on YouTube about Bitcoin, and now everybody is seeing how scarce it is and why it's valuable, because it's a peer-to-peer currency. You don't need a middleman in the middle. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. I'm not telling you to go out and buy hundreds of thousands of dollars of Bitcoin, but dollar cost average your way every week. Maybe put $5 into Bitcoin and see the asset grow. There are going to be some upgrades to Bitcoin to make it faster, and everybody's going to take it around the world. And this might be the opportunity for you to put some fiat into a digital asset, and don't let that fiat depreciate in your pocket. I'm not a financial advisor, but that's my opinion. So remember, visit BritVR Crypto. It's right behind me. You can buy basically Bitcoin, any crypto you want, and you can use your credit card, your debit card. I have an API on my website from Chainly. I have a video at the bottom which I talk to the CEO. So just check it out when you guys can. Hit the like button again, hit the subscriber button. Make sure you hit the notification bell right next to the subscriber button. And thank you for watching. I'm going to start giving out Satoshis on the Bitcoin Lightning network. So if you have a Bitcoin Lightning node, just put a thumbs up and a comment at the bottom. Thank you guys for watching, and all you guys have a good day, and all you guys have a good night. And enjoy the crypto life. Peace.